Welcome back to Cocktails and Classics. This week we continue our Stanley Kubrick journey. We've done Doctor Strangelove,
Clockwork Orange,
Shining. I think that's it so far, right?
Yeah, I
The
think so.
Shinin.
Yeah.
You know, I liked his other space movie better than this one. I'm gonna get it out front now. Much better dialogue. The part where the guy says, "One small step for man, one giant leap for mankind." I love that part.
Yeah, it was a
You know,
lot
after
more
watching this
fast-paced.
movie, I totally understand why people thought that they faked it. You know,
Oh.
I'm sorry. I meant for this conversation to go later in the episode, but I wanted to get it out there.
it's all right. We'll put it in later.
We'll
talk
say it
about
again.
later.
We'll make it natural again.
We have to talk about the fake moon landing. We have to. It'll come in this week.
This week we watched 2001: A Space Odyssey, 1968 film from Stanley Kubrick. To go with our movie, this week's cocktail is the Space Odyssey from Cooking Guide on YouTube. Wait, is this like fucking eHow or something?
Yeah, the art. No, don't go to the. It's broken. It's a broken link.
tell them you have to watch the YouTube video.
Tell me you have to watch the Nokia video.
Fine, like it's not fucking written down anyway. What
It's
the
in-
fuck are we gonna
it's
do
in,
in
like,
our show
140p.
notes or whatever?
Which is ironically shot from 2000.
What is Cam gonna do in a house fire? He can't just watch a video.
Exactly. What am I gonna do? Watch a video? No, I didn't even watch the video. I just fucking made it up.
It tastes like shit.
It's a great video uploaded in 2015 with a whopping 138 views on it.
6 of those
It
are
looks like it was
probably
filmed
from
in
us.
2001.
It has more views than resolution size. It's like 90p.
Probably. It's in 360p. Is the
Okay.
highest quality.
That's what it was uploaded in, you know?
Well, right. That wasn't what it was recorded in. It's probably worse than that even.
So Space Odyssey it's like something you would get in a dorm room. A lot of sex on the beach vibes to it. According to the video, it is a shot of 151, which is not made anymore. So go for like an overproof rum. It's a shot of Malibu or coconut rum. Another shot of pineapple juice, and then top your glass with orange juice and float some grenadine on top.
How do you float it?
Um,
I've tried this in many drinks. I can't get it right. Mine sinks to the
do one of these.
mine sinks every time.
Yeah,
It's
I've-
like, oh, just pour it on top of the drink. It just sinks right to the bottom.
I've tried like pouring it like lightly over a spoon
On the back of a
so it
spoon.
like, yeah. Fun fact: still sinks straight to the bottom. Does not
right.
drizzle.
I don't get it. So whoever's making these videos, articles, can you show
full
me
of shit.
how to do this? Because for some reason, I've never been able to do it.
I think if you have like actual like homemade grenadine, it would float. But
Is it just
Like-
too light? Like
You're-
because I
yeah,
have like
I
a
think it would
more
be
syrup.
Oh, are
lighter.
you using the
But the,
the
like-
corn syrup version? Oh,
yeah, the roses just like sinks right to the
Yeah.
bottom. I feel like.
I
so,
have roses. Yeah.
yeah.
same.
I went for the poor man's.
Did you guys make it
grenadine.
exactly? How did you like it?
Yeah, I feel like I would love it when I was like 21.
Interesting.
Now that I'm older, not quite in my taste range, but it's not bad. Like, it's just a little fruity.
Yeah, I would love like one of these if I were like somewhere on an island or like somewhere tropical. Like, yeah, one of these would be good. 2 of them would make my stomach hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a bit sugary.
Yeah. The only modifications I made is I didn't have pineapple juice, and I didn't have 151, but I did have regular spiced rum. So I just did equal parts Malibu and spiced rum, and then I just did orange juice instead. But I put more than I did like 3 shots total of the other 2 liquors, and I definitely did more orange juice than that, and some grenadine, and it's actually pretty good. So I like it. I'll approve this
Yeah, I
one.
have Smith and Cross, which is like a navy proof Jamaican rum, so it's a little
Gotcha.
funky. And you can, it comes through. You can taste that in the drink, which is kind of nice.
Yeah.
Doesn't just like get lost in the juices.
I didn't have an overproof, but I feel like I would have not minded it. Like, I feel like it definitely would help kind of cut a little bit maybe of the sweet.
I had some good old Sailor Jerry's.
Jesus Christ.
I have had this. There are some bottles of liquor I have that I can't get rid of. I've had this same bottle of Sailor Jerry's since back in the day.
Well, let me tell you what you do. If you just get like a 2-liter of Coke, you pour half of the 2-liter out, and then you just pour the entire bottle of Sailor Jerry's into the 2-liter. Just give it a little swirl, and then you just smash that entire 2-liter of
Oh
Coke
my
and
God.
Sailor Jerry's, and you'll get rid of it.
Ew. That's
You may
true. I
throw
don't
up
have
in
much
front
of
of
it
Zoe's
left.
kitchen,
But, okay,
but
this bottle is at least like probably since 2014 or 15.
See, here's what you do. Post COVID, everyone gets together. You just pour a bunch of shit into a bowl. You add some mixers, and there you go.
You lap it up like dogs.
You ladle it like a punch
Right?
into a cup,
Oh,
and then
I want to lap it up like a dog.
everyone
You get
just
everyone
gets
together.
turned.
and
You bob
tape,
for apples, except it's
you
in.
tape the fifth of Sailor Jerry's
Oh my God.
to everyone's hands.
Edward Fifth
Jerry
Hands.
Hands.
Yeah.
Edward Jerry Hands, my favorite game.
Please don't watch this video. It's so low quality. Just you heard what we said. That is about as much information as the man gives
We can
you.
put the actual recipe in the show notes, not linking to anywhere because, like, yeah, it's bad.
It's low quality. The cocktail, it's all right quality. Make one. Send us a picture, especially if you're on the beach or you're on an island. Like Ben said, send us a picture. Enjoy a Space
Or if
Odyssey.
you're floating through space as a fetus.
I don't
Send
know
us one.
how do liquids work in space? Don't they just like pool up?
Yeah.
They do whatever they want. There's no container, so they just kind of
Right.
go with the flow.
Yeah.
Send us a picture on Instagram at Cocktails and Classics Pod. Use the hashtag Cocktails and Classics. Tell us what you think of the Space Odyssey. Check out 2001: A Space Odyssey on HBO Max. We're about to spoil this movie, and while you're at it, check out Space Oddity. By,
It's a good
David
song.
Bowie.
Our spin-off podcast where we only talk about 2001: A Space Odyssey
And David Bowie.
and David Bowie.
We try to connect the two, even though David Bowie was called David Bowie, I think, before this movie came out.
Yeah. I mean, he's older than this movie. So.
Well,
I'm gonna say
the
yes.
thing was, the one character is Dave Bowman, and I was like, that's
Oh.
very close to
I feel like it
David
is
Bowie.
before this. He
Yeah, I
had
think
music out before this movie, right?
2 is when his career started. So,
Okay.
2001: A Space Odyssey is an adventure sci-fi film. I don't know where the adventure comes in. I would say horror and thriller are more.
Horror? I mean, maybe a thriller.
It gets kind of spooky when they're with the.
Honestly, I don't know how to qualify this. I don't know how to classify this movie other than like an epic. Like literally. Like not in the sense that it's like epic, you know, like how the youths used to do it back in the day, but like an epic, like it's just like a big
Yeah.
sprawling movie that explores like I don't know. It's yeah, I don't even know how I'd qualify it.
I believe it is a space opera.
That makes yeah, I could see that.
In a quite
like Star
literal
Wars
sense. It's a space opera because of all the orchestral music and the
In the
the
space.
space.
Star Wars is a space opera,
Yeah,
but it's not
Star
the
Wars
same.
is also kind of like a spaghetti western too, isn't it? In a sense.
I could see how you could argue that. Sure.
Really, Star Wars gave us cowboys versus aliens, right?
Is that true? I mean, kind of.
Now I know who we have to
They
blame.
fight aliens. Actually, no, they don't really fight aliens. At least, like, for the most of the movie, they fight other humans.
Aren't they
There's a
all
couple
aliens?
they fight. Well, not to
Technically,
us.
yes.
Not to us.
I mean, Han Solo.
They're all
fucking
from a
blasts
different
Greedo, who's an
galaxy.
alien.
Oh, well, I suppose that's true. Yeah, I don't know.
So, anyways, Han started blasting.
They look exactly like humans. So, yeah, we'll see. Wonder what the race is called. Are they called humans?
I don't know.
I'm gonna look
I'm
it
not
up.
into the.
I've
canon.
never actually wondered this question.
2001: A Space Odyssey is directed by Stanley Kubrick, written by Stanley Kubrick, with Arthur C. Clarke, who also wrote like the short stories that this movie is based off of. It stars Keir Dullea.
Yeah, it's Delay.
Dulé. Okay. Keir Dulé, Gary Lockwood,
They are called humans. Just want to throw that out there.
William Sylvester, Daniel Richter, and Douglas Rain as Hal. It's the story of I don't even know how to fucking describe it to you. IMDb says, after discovering a mysterious artifact buried beneath the lunar surface, mankind sets off on a quest to find its origins with help from an intelligent supercomputer, HAL 9000.
I feel like that only covers like one of the. I almost want to call it episodes of the movie.
Half of the first part of the movie before the intermission is not about that. And also, they don't wait. So, they didn't even reveal that part about the plot until like the last 20 minutes of the movie, though.
Yeah, that the signal was going to Jupiter. Or
Well,
whatever
the
hell
signal
is
is going to there, and it's like it's a form of intelligent life, basically.
Well,
like they didn't really include any of that.
And that's their mission. Their mission's not just to go to Jupiter.
Right.
It's to look for this specific thing on Jupiter.
For the monolith.
Yeah, I think the summary is like intentionally obscure from what like the quote unquote plot of the movie is, because if you tell people what this movie's about, it almost spoils it in a way,
Yeah.
which we're about to do.
Yes.
Right now.
I mean, this movie's very fitting that we did it at this time because there was all those monoliths popping up in the middle
Yeah.
of like, Utah
Yeah.
and shit.
I watched it and I was like, oh shit, I've seen that before. Recently.
Those popped up, all of a sudden we have a COVID vaccine. Just saying.
It is the next step of evolution.
Lord. So it's not Bill Gates. He's not going to be making me buy a bunch of Microsoft. I'm going to really like
I mean,
monoliths
yeah.
after
The
this.
monolith does look like the Series X, and we got those around the same time too.
That's true. It does kind of look like the fridge. It actually kind of, it looks more like, it's weird because it's got the color of the Series X, but it looks more like the Series S if the Series S was black. Because like the Series S doesn't even have a disk drive, right? So it's literally just like a rectangular thing, very similar to the monolith, except it's white.
2001. It's at an 8.3 out of 10 on IMDb. It is number 90 on the top 250, and it won one Oscar, Best Effects, Special Visual Effects, and it was nominated for Best Director, Best Writing, and Best Art Direction, Set Direction. No one had seen this before, correct?
No, I have.
Oh, you
I
have?
haven't.
Yeah.
I had
I
not.
don't know. The way you were texting me, Zach, I was like, oh, Zach
wanna
must have
spoil
also
anything.
experienced it for the first time.
I don't want to spoil anything.
Have you seen this?
I have not. I sat
that's
down to
surprising.
watch it before. Made it through the monkey part, to where he like throws up the bone, and then just got sidetracked and got busy doing something. And I was
That
like,
makes
oh, I'll
sense,
come
yeah.
back to it. And then, we talked about it, and I was like, all right, perfect time to go back and watch it. I could do without the monkey part.
Could you?
Just something about monkey screeching just really is like nails on a chalkboard to me. So 30 minutes of it just fucking makes me want to die.
But most,
Okay,
but
I don't-
most of,
That
wait
was
a
a
minute,
little
wait a
long.
minute, hold on. Most of the crew on the expedition to Jupiter was surrounded by high-pitched squealing and obnoxious
Yeah.
beeps. And your ass is gonna complain about the monkeys?
well, that's like the type of music I listen to. So
Screeching?
no, high pitched squealing and beeps.
Oh, I see.
I don't know. I'm not as like annoyed by like that part as I am by the monkey screeching.
I was way more annoyed with that part.
Maybe it's just like the cascading of the screeching because there's like fucking 20 monkeys just all yelling.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just that. I don't know. It is
I
actually
actually-
like a pet peeve of mine with like Planet of the Apes and
Yeah.
that sort of shit.
Upon like some like I don't know, thinking about it, I think that the first part kind of sets the tone for it, like it kind of shows you what to expect kind of the monolith later, because it's like they're like primates, they don't really know how to do anything, they're getting destroyed by like cheetahs or whatever, leopard, cheetah, I don't know, leopard. Then this monolith comes along and they're like, what the heck is this? And then they like learn how to use tools, and they like start doing stuff. And so it's like, essentially this alien entity that is like nudging humanity forward through these monoliths. They don't really fully explain it, but it gets weird at the end with the last one. But I actually didn't mind that part. It was definitely like a long. It was a lot. It was really long.
I had to do my research because I was so bewildered when the leopard attacked the guy. I was like, how did they
Oh,
shoot
yeah.
that? And they trained a leopard. Like
Really?
the guy with it went into a cage and like trained with a leopard for like
my
a year to
I
like
mean, it
do
took
that.
5 years to make this movie, I guess.
Jim, so I'm glad to have you aboard. Let me give you a brief overview of your role for the film. Yeah, so you're going to be in an ape suit, yes. It'll be a little hot. The one caveat is we've trained this leopard to attack monkeys, and we're going to sick the leopard on you. He's going to aim for your back. Hopefully he doesn't go for the throat. If he does, we have a safe word that the leopard does not understand. But we'd love to welcome you or offer you the part.
Just so you know, this is
Yeah,
going to be
so-
great on your resume. Wait, so like people are going to see my face and that like I'll be recognized?
No.
No, but
They'll see
you
your
know,
face, but you'll be behind a prosthetic.
But here's the thing: next time you send out your what is it like actors send out when it's
CV,
like
a
their
credit?
picture with all
Headshot?
their
Oh, a
shit-
headshot?
Yeah, their headshots.
Okay.
Next time you send out your headshot, you can make sure when you have to put your skills on the back, you can put animal handling.
Oh my
We'll
god.
vouch for
Handled
you.
by an animal once.
Animal husbandry.
He trained with the leopard, and they like just himself in the thing, and they like play fought. I don't know if
As
the
one
leopard
does
knew he
with a
was
leopard.
playing, but yeah, basically just had him like play fight to like a believable level, and then they put on the monkey suit and were playing, and then they like got to a point where they filmed it, and it was only that part, like just the leopard attacking the guy, and then the other part was like done in a matte or like a painted backdrop type deal. And the article I was reading, that like Stanley Kubrick was not comfortable at all with the leopard being so close to the camera and him. But I'm like, the dude's literally getting attacked by a leopard in your scene. Like, how are you like? How is there an issue with it?
I'm not
that?
really comfortable with filming this. Oh, cool. So we're gonna cut it? No. You're still gonna be attacked by the leopard. I'm just gonna have Bill here shoot it.
Yeah, I'm not comfortable shooting it. Bill's got it under control.
But yeah, I was like, so, dude, okay. So I know we talked about it in The Graduate. We were like, Zach, I think, said, like, there's shit I've never seen before in this movie. This movie, a year after The Graduate, like, released, there's shit in this movie I've never seen even, like, replicated. And, you know, it being 68, like, I'm just, like, bewildered at some of the stuff that they accomplished and, like, how they did it at that point in time.
Like,
Yeah.
dude, this movie looks fantastic.
The pin free floating.
Yes. Oh my god, that was insane.
How did they do that?
Just it blows me away how, I mean, A, like how good this movie looks even today. And B, like, this was the last movie about space exploration before they set foot on the moon. So nobody had ever set foot on the moon before, and he made a space movie that is also renowned for being accurate in terms of like space flight, sound,
Yeah.
like everything. And it's like, how the fuck did he make this movie when we hadn't even been there before?
It's
as a
because
species?
it's because he'd already shot the moon landing.
Oh, okay.
He
Yeah,
he was in
it
cahoots
had-
with the Russians.
Yeah,
That was the.
Well, I did
warm-up
read
for
that he
2001.
apparently NASA let him like check out them building a rocket basically like before the set. So like he got to check out like all that stuff while they were doing it. But then he also faked it.
Maybe like NASA just knew all this information beforehand of like how things react in space
Yeah.
and everything. Because at the point when he's trying to come back in and Hal won't let him in.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, he's gotta just get close enough, and then he's gotta bust the airlock, and it's gonna vacuum him out of his pod into the airlock, and that's exactly what happened. And I was like, shit,
Yeah.
Stanley fucking started it all. He He
Right.
knew exactly.
No, I mean, it was
like,
amazing.
how
Like that scene and how it was like dead silent. Like just like I know like they just like cut the sound. Cuz like a lot of movies don't. Like in space, they just don't, you know? It's like that's accurate. And most
Also,
movies don't do that.
the I don't know how they did it. It's got to be like a forced perspective thing. But when there's like when he's first running around and you're locked here and he's running around
Oh, yeah.
horizontally,
Mhm.
I
Oh,
have
like the spaceship
absolutely
treadmill?
no idea how.
Like you see like he's like the camera's in front of him, right? And he's like running around the circle.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, there's that. There's like 4 different angles on that. But yeah,
Yeah.
there's
Well,
that
a couple
one where
of them
it's
are a
like,
little bit easier to figure out than others. But the one where it's like
Yeah.
straight on him running. I thought the same thing with the woman, like walking up and around.
yes.
I was
So
'cause-
they built like a Ferris wheel and then had sets that they would build
And
and
everything
plug
is
into
just
it,
rotating.
and it would literally rotate. So like the woman delivering the food, she was just walking like normal, and they literally rotated the entire set.
That's
like
wild.
Yeah.
it definitely looked the scene where Dave and what the hell's the other guy's name? The one that he just yeets into space.
Frank.
Frank.
Frank. Okay. When those guys are like they're walking in the circle and then crawling into the hole to avoid talking in front of Hal. That one
Yeah.
I kind of made sense. I'm like, even if they were to build just like a construct, put it in front of the camera and just rotate it around the camera, and then like when they actually edit the movie, they can make it look like it's not moving, but they're rotating around. But yeah, the ones where they're walking, I was like, holy shit. The amount of thought that went into the practical effects of this was just nuts. And also while watching it, one of my thoughts was, man, Zach must love these painted backgrounds because these things look fucking gorgeous.
Oh, it's same. I wrote that down as well.
That's funny.
I was a fan. I'll come out and say it. I was
Also-
a big fan.
I don't know if this is the first movie to do it, but there's just something about classical music in space that's just like the right combo. I don't know what it is. It's just like the right music for the right time. I don't know.
If nothing else, this movie did it the best.
Yeah.
Oh man, the DP who shot this shot Superman 2.
Wow.
Yeah.
Isn't that the one
Wait.
where he flies backwards?
What? That depends. Hold on. Wait for it, guys. I'm gonna tell you an interesting story about Superman 2.
Here we go.
Superman 1 ends with Superman flying backwards around the Earth, reversing the pole to go back in time. Superman 2 does not end that way. However, if you watch the Donner cut, which is the director's cut of Superman 2, it's exactly how the fucking movie ends again. Like, I'm
Oh
so
my
glad
God.
they made him change it. Because what the fuck, dude? Every Superman movie just has to end with him going back in time.
Go back in time. It's so that they can literally retcon everything that just happened in the movie
Yeah,
for the
just
next
wait,
movie.
Just wait for
destroyed all of Smallville? No, we're just going back in time.
Oh, Justice League did that in the box office? Just wait. Superman's gonna
going
fly
back in
around the He's gonna fly around the Earth a couple of times, and then we'll just release the Snyder cut and we'll be okay.
The Snyder Cut, 4 hours long, also has like 2 extra characters that weren't in the first movie. All right.
It's going to streaming, motherfucker. Make it as long as you want.
Right. You want that shit 4 hours? Fine. You want, what is it, Martian the Manhunter or whatever? Yeah, fucking put that dude in. Whatever.
Okay, Martian Manhunter was originally supposed to be in the movie. It's not like they announced that after they announced they were making
No, I
the
know,
Snyder
I know.
cut.
But they cut him from the whole movie. It's so weird how you cut an entire like character like that from the movie.
All right, here you go. Here's one of the like riggings for this. So it looks like, if this makes sense to me, the camera is placed along the like path, and then they like are rotating the inner part at a speed to where the guy can like run with it. If that makes sense, is how I'm seeing
Yeah.
this.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh my god.
So the camera is still,
It's wild.
and then yeah, dude, yeah.
I feel like this is one of those movies, like overall impression wise, that like, I don't know. Maybe I'm overreacting, but I feel like this is one of those that I would consider this movie to be like a masterpiece that I would never want to watch again. Like, this is such a good movie. Like, it is so good. the way it makes, like, I don't know, like, I feel like it makes you think about things. It doesn't use a lot of dialogue. A lot of the shots, like the scenes, are literally just like space shit, you know. And in the score, using the classical music, the dialogue that does happen is like very intentional. This is the first like one of the first movies probably that has like the AI breakdown. You know, I would never want to watch it again though. Like, it's such a good movie, but it's 2.5 hours long, and a lot of it's weird. You know, I just feel like once you watch, like, you should watch this. I think everybody should watch this movie. But once you watch it once, I think that I don't think you need to watch it again, if that makes sense.
Okay, can we bring up the 20-minute acid trip that happens towards the end of the movie?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
that's
was
my
my
least
favorite
favorite
part.
part of the movie.
And how that was completely just way too long, right?
No, I
Yeah,
got you.
Really?
I got you here.
Oh,
Like, I feel like
Man,
I feel like Kubrick was
was my
tripping
favorite
on
part, dude.
acid watching the
that
movie.
cannot be. You're kidding.
He probably was.
And everyone else was like, so we're gonna cut this down a bit, right? And he's, nah, it's beautiful. And they were just like, well, okay, I guess we're gonna leave it.
I'm not gonna lie, I skipped like most of it.
A lot of it.
What?
I
Well,
definitely
so like,
I,
okay,
I didn't
no,
skip it.
I mean, like,
but I
yeah,
definitely
I have the power
watched,
to do that.
I definitely
didn't miss
had the
anything.
frame by frame up and was moving through to see if I
Yeah.
was missing anything other than
Yeah,
the-
like on
the visual of random trippy imagery.
Yeah, like on the Apple TV, you can press the button and it'll go forward like 15 seconds. I basically just kept doing that to see if I was missing anything, and it was just
No,
the same thing.
I took it frame by
So-
frame, but literally, I shit you not, mind you, this was after I'd watched several minutes of it. There was
Yeah.
another 8 minutes that I moved
Yeah,
through
I watched
before
like
we
5
got to
minutes and I was
anything.
like, dude, I can't.
And then guess what
I
happened?
had to keep going.
It switched to like him for like 2 seconds, and then it went right back to more trippy shit. What the hell, man?
And then the very ending.
This movie could have been
Was
just a
super
tight 2 hours, and 20 minutes of it was just trippy fucking imagery.
It was like 20 minutes. For
You
the
could
whole
have taken
ending, yeah.
you could have taken the intermission and like just trimmed that trippy shit down, and you'd have had a tight 145.
So I'm not going to disagree.
But that's
The
not
movie
the
could
point.
definitely be shorter. The thing that I'll say about the ending is that the fourth part, where you see the trippy shit, is at a high level the only thing that makes it different from the other three parts. So it's basically the same story told four ways. It's civilization stuck at a wall. Somebody plants this monolith. They get past the wall.
Right.
The difference with the fourth part is you get to see what that, or the third part I should say, is you get to see what that looks like, where Bowman is being like exposed to some sort of higher dimension or whatever the next step of evolution is, and you get to watch him like experience that. It is probably too long, but if you go back and watch the scene, the lines and shit that happen, they like start off kind of simple, and then they get more and more complicated, and then they eventually turn back into like landscapes and stuff. And I've always interpreted that as Bowman is like starting to get it, and then he ends up in the white room. It's like, okay, this is your last test. Now you have to figure this part out. Which, on his deathbed, again, he sees the monolith, and then that's basically the end of the movie. He becomes the Star Child and returns back to Earth.
He becomes a
motherfucking
fetus
Star Child.
in a.
That's exactly what I think of when I hear that song. It's like this baby staring at the Earth.
I didn't realize that the cover for the movie is actually a spoiler for how it ends.
Yeah, I was waiting for that to happen. Like once it got into the weird trippy scene, I was like, all right, here comes the space baby. It's coming somewhere.
This is definitely the weirdest part of the movie. I mean, it's definitely like humanity being reborn, I think. Like that seems to be what the theme is, you know, but it was definitely weird. Like I said at the beginning, like this is literally an epic. Like, you know, in terms of scope, in terms of idea, in terms of execution, this is like an epic movie. I do feel like this movie kind of kicked off the like distrust in AI type trend, you know, very, very early before it was even a real thing. You know, like they had envisioned this like AI that could do all this stuff like way before it was ever even much of a thought.
Yeah, it's like computers in general. Like
Yeah.
in the 60s, people were like, oh no, computers are going to take over anything or everything.
Those fucking calculators.
You're not gonna have that
mean-
calculator in your pocket.
LOL.
I guess
Fire.
considering they took how long to film this?
5 years.
Too long.
5 years. Okay. Let's say because like do androids dream of electric sheep, which was the book Blade Runner was based on. I mean that was published in '68, so
I will say one complaint I guess I have. It's not really a complaint. I mean, it's just like the time the movie was made, but there's all these like stretch ideas because you kind of get that in like sci-fi, like Star Trek had like wasn't in Star Trek that came up with like cell phones and shit, or, like mobile communication, and then I think like spy movies for the longest time had like watches that you could like smart watches that you could like talk
Yeah.
into and stuff. You get these like far-reaching,
Dick Tracy had that in the 1930s.
yeah, you get these like far-reaching like ideas, and this movie is kind of like that, like the space station that's like spinning, like the AI that knows everything and controls the entire ship. But because the movie is shot in the 60s, a lot of the tech and like clothing and everything is like so 60s. Like when they're
Yeah.
flying the plane, like the interior like controls, I'm just like, God, that's not like that's so aged.
The big old buttons.
It's so
Yeah.
it's so funny you brought that up because while watching it, I had that same thought of like how interesting it is when you think of like the 1950s idea of like the future and like how everything basically just looks like the 1950s but a little bit sleeker, and how this movie almost did like the exact same thing. And it's just crazy to me to think like what people think the future's going to look like, because it got me to thinking about how so much of what pop culture and design trends and everything like that now just kind of reflects the past more so than it does like what's the future gonna look like.
Yeah, they invented FaceTime in this movie.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, I wonder if that's just like we
They
get,
used Microsoft Teams.
They use Microsoft products.
we
You
get
don't
like
wanna see
new
everyone.
tech and new shit like every other day. So it's like I feel like we're always forward looking, but
Yeah.
yeah, I feel like the like people of like every day were like, oh, vintage, like old shit. But it's like,
Old shit.
yeah. But like, all the companies are like, what are we doing next? We're fucking Google's like burning down their entire fucking back catalog of companies and shit so they can make some cool shit. Google's like, oh, we made Google Plus. That lasted 2 years. Time to kill it.
Psych.
You like Google Hangouts? Fuck you. Google Glass? Fuck you. Oh, the Stadia thing? Fuck you.
Oof, that one's recent.
That one's super recent. It's not dead yet. Not technically dead yet. You can still subscribe.
So the movie is 2.5 hours long. I've read that Kubrick himself cut 25 minutes out of it before it was released. And the special effects producer gave an interview where he said there's at least 200 times more footage that was shot for the final cut of the movie.
Ew.
Maybe that's why it
My
took
God.
5 years to make.
It's utterly wild. 200 times 2 hours. You're talking like, probably like upwards of 500 hours of footage, this guy says, was made
That's
of this
crazy.
movie.
I mean, if you think about it, like there were literally 30 minutes in a desert with the ape scenes. Like, how much more ape footage was there? You know?
It's probably a
Well,
ton.
Like
not
a
only
lot,
that, but
you're
like
right.
not only the ape footage, but just think about like the fact that there was so much footage of just scapes.
Yeah.
Like you had the desert scape, you had the shot, like the random shots of space that just kind of lingered for a little bit. I'm not complaining. I really enjoyed those shots. I thought they were gorgeous. But you've got to wonder if Kubrick just sent like, "Hey, we're gonna go film in the desert. Here's the camera. Like, just go film a couple things." Like, if they had people filming there for how long, just shooting all day.
Yeah. Here's a question. Was Kubrick super popular at this point in time?
This is post.
Yeah.
It's
This was
post
after
Doctor Strangelove.
Okay.
This is after The Killing. This is after Spartacus and Lolita.
So, yes. Okay.
Yeah.
But I
I
don't.
was just wondering because, like, I don't know how they got the budget to make these types of things.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, I think Kubrick was at a place where studios were like, "Oh, you want to make a movie? Yeah, awesome. We'll give you all the money you want."
Kubrick was on that Christopher Nolan level where they're like, "You want to spend $4 billion to make this movie? Yes, please. Can we get you any more?"
Kubrick really is the sole responsible person for the Sandler verse because
Oh my
an
God.
entity went after him, like Netflix went after Adam Sandler. They followed the Kubrick model where they're like, "We need you, and we're gonna lock you up on a contract." But Kubrick wouldn't sign it. Sandler did. You know, we can't all be perfect.
All right, I'm gonna do this quick maths real.
It's just amazing how many bangers this dude made.
The budget for this movie was estimated to be 12 million.
In 1965 or whatever.
Yeah,
I know it came out in
1960.
68, but, you know.
So it would wow. That would be a $90 million budget,
Wow.
which I mean,
It's a lot less
what
than
is like
Endgame.
the highest budget? I mean, they spend a shit ton of money
They
nowadays.
spend a lot of money. Well, does that include... Do budgeting costs for movies today include marketing or not? It's just all movie.
Um, I mean, it's probably included in there. I don't know. I don't know like the. So, Pirates of the Caribbean on Stranger Tides was a $378
Oh my
million
God.
Keep in mind too, with this movie, think of the actors in this movie, and then think what else they've been in.
Nothing.
Yeah, there's nobody.
Exactly. So figure that was the budget, and they did not have to spend on like the star actor of the
Yeah.
day. They didn't have
That's
to
true.
pay Robert Downey Jr. an arm and a leg so he'll come back for another one.
Dustin Hoffman.
Which is weird because I would have thought the guy who played Dave, like after seeing this movie, people would have been like, "Get him in my movie now."
Yeah. Yeah, I read online that the out of the $12 million budget, almost 10 and a half of it was special effects.
Oh,
So they definitely
Dude,
did
holy
not need to
shit.
spend on actors.
I mean, we saw the
believe it.
rig. They had to literally build a spinning set. Like,
Yeah.
Okay, I liked the part in the movie where he's deactivating Hal, and Hal's like, "No, don't. I'm good. I'm not gonna do anything. We're
I feel
cool,
much
right?
better now, Dave.
I'm so much better now. Stop doing this." He's like reasoning with him as if he's like a human, trying to like reason with somebody and not to like kill them, basically.
No,
After
Dave.
going crazy.
No, step bro.
God.
What are you doing?
No, not again.
his song is so creepy though. There's like,
Oh my
I know
God.
a song.
That's okay. That is
You're right.
iconic. That is iconic. Like him, the robot singing the Daisy song. That is like
I also
also a
think
very iconic.
the
part of
idea
it.
of like Hal being represented by like the screen with the red eye. I feel like that's huge. That's like anything that does a riff on AI automatically jumps to that.
Yeah, imagine being the people who, like, the actors who work really hard, making sure that they're eating their refried beans and, like, crushed up corn in sync with the futuristic iPads. And, like, nope, we got to do that again. All right, let me eat another pile of this shit beans. And then there's Hal's scenes where it's literally you could have made it just a photo of this red dot in the center of the screen, and they just add voice over it. Like, I would have been so pissed if I had to eat my beans over and over again. You know you're going to get Hal perfect on the right time.
This dude's eating beans. Also, I like the part where it does the quick cut to Hal right before that dude gets flown across the screen or whatever
Oh, yeah.
oh yeah.
in the yellow suit. I literally like rewound it because like the other guy in the spaceship was just sitting there, and he just sees the dude like fly across the screen. I was like, "What the heck?" And I like went backwards to see what the fuck just happened.
Does anybody know what
like,
that
what the hell?
effect is when Frank is like, it looks like he's falling through space? What is that like camera effect they're doing on him where it makes it look super frantic the way he's moving?
Oh yeah.
I think it's just like off-speed frames.
Okay.
Yeah, because I noticed that too, where he was like moving around and it looked really like frantic. Cause yeah,
So
I was like, that's a
I
weird
saw a
effect.
picture of like the rig that he's in, and it looks like he's just like hanging, and then he's like moving himself. But I think if they just shot it at a slower frame rate, so instead of like instead of shooting at like 24, they probably shot at like 9 or 13 or something, and then just sped that up to 24, and it gives you that like really quick, like frantic.
Okay, that makes sense.
Sometimes
I'll
used in
believe
like
it.
horror films to like make movements really quickly and like manic.
I see.
Interestingly enough, talking about things that Spider-Verse did that too. They played a lot. The Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse played around a lot with frame rates, both slower and
Yeah.
both like smaller and higher.
We're gonna hit up some ads. We'll
I'll
come
hit you up.
back and we're gonna do some trivia.
Yeah.
So this week's podcast is brought to you by Surfside Sips. They make high-impact glass straws. They're a family-owned company, and what's better than saving the turds? You know.
The turds.
The turds.
You know, I'm one of those people who hates using paper straws. Paper straws fucking
Paper straws
suck.
suck.
I
They are
love
the worst
what
solution.
they do. I love that we're minimizing the use of plastic straws. I enjoy that. Paper straws suck ass.
They suck. They are the worst possible solution because turns out, guess what? Paper and water don't fucking mix, okay? I don't know who came up with it, but it doesn't work. Even though they put coating on it to try and help, it doesn't work. It just gets soggy and you end up throwing it away anyway, and that's just more waste. And so,
But you know what doesn't get soggy? Glass.
yeah.
Glass straws from Surfside Sips. And if you want to get some glass straws from Surfside Sips, you can use coupon code Cocktails and Classics spelled out. That's Cocktails AND Classics for 20% off your order.
And if you're looking for a business to support during this time, seems like a good idea.
If you've listened before, you know Zach watches these movies multiple times, does his research. This man deep dives for that hot and spicy trivia. Zach, what do you got for us on 2001: A Space Odyssey?
Speaking of hitting you with hot and heavy trivia, question number 1. An MIT artificial intelligence expert, Marvin Minsky, visited the set at Kubrick's invitation to see the massive 38 by 10 foot centrifuge that he built for filming. However, after turning the centrifuge on, Minsky was almost hit in the head by A. a pipe wrench, B. a steel chair, or C. a 4 foot by 6 foot pane of glass.
Oh my god. It's the centrifuge with the steel chair!
By God, I swear that man is broken in half.
Oh my god.
Did you guys see Shaq get thrown through a table at last week's wrestling event?
No.
Yeah. Yeah. Dude,
Wait, is that what you
jumped?
sent on Reddit in the group me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Guy
Wait, that
jumped,
was Shaq?
That was
Yeah.
Shaquille O'Neal, yeah.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
okay.
I did watch that video. I didn't realize it was
guy
Shaq.
jumped the top rope and like cross-bodied Shaq through a table.
That was Shaquille O'Neal.
I mean, I want it to be the steel chair just for the wrestling meme, but I don't know. I mean, a 4 foot by 6 foot pane of glass would just be scary as shit. Holy.
I mean, none of these I want to get hit in the head by.
No. I mean,
Yeah. Look. No one wants to end up like Chris Benoit, right?
Kill your family? Yeah, that'd be awful.
Too many chair shots to the head. CTE. Wreck your life.
and many others.
And the lives of those around you.
And your loved ones.
I'm gonna go with the steel chair. I'm gonna do the old meme.
All right. I mean, I feel like that wouldn't. Where would that even be? I'll say a pane of glass.
I'm also thinking pane of glass. Maybe they're working on the set. Kubrick's got really excited about having someone there. Turns it on. Oh shit. This glass pane's not installed yet. Falls.
All right, guys. The answer was actually a pipe wrench. They
Wow.
left it on the centrifuge, and as it turned on, got to the top and fell, hit the side of the centrifuge, and almost knocked Marvin in the head. I have a chance at a perfect game here. Nobody got that one correct. We'll go for question number 2. Which of the following was not, at one point, a title of the movie? A. A Farewell to Earth. B. Space, the Earth Story. Or C. Tunnel to the Stars.
Space the Earth Story.
It's got to be that one. I'm
I-
saying Space the Earth Story. There's no way.
Okay, that's just. I mean, oh man, that's so bad. That's so bad. I
But
really
maybe
am
that's
glad
like the
this
first
movie.
title he came up with, though. He's like just shooting the shit. And he's like,
Space the Earth Story.
Space the Earth.
I could see it.
Yeah.
I could see him thinking it's kind of deep because it's like, I don't know.
So the name of the book that came
Like
out
like the story of
called,
Earth is like located in space. I don't know. It's kind of deep at 14. You know.
the name of the book was called The Sentinel. So I mean, there was a wide range of what these guys thought they were gonna potentially name.
I'm gonna
2001:
go out of
Space
left
Odyssey.
field and say Tunnel to the Stars is the one you made up.
I'm 1968, and this is deep. What was the first option again?
A Farewell to Earth.
That seems feasible.
I mean, they all seem kind of feasible except for the middle one, but I feel like the middle one was definitely a title at some point.
It's so bad, I don't think Zach would have made it up.
Space, the Earth Story.
I'm gonna say A Farewell to Earth.
Did Dylan give his answer?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you said the middle one.
I
Oh,
said
Space the Earth Story.
Space the Earth
Yeah.
Story.
That one's it. I made that one up.
Oh, God.
I
I'm
did think it
ashamed.
would be a little RM14, and this is deep. Yeah. There were so many potential titles for this movie, and most of them were either like "Bye Earth," "Farewell to Earth," "Never Seeing Earth Again," shit like that. Then there was
But
Tunnel
they
to the
see Earth at the
Stars.
end of the movie.
Yeah, and like out of all of this, like you look through the 7 or 8 considered titles, none of them have anything to do with 2001. And then all of a sudden, there's 2001: A Space Odyssey.
Weird. So is By Earth like? Is that like just all referencing like the last half of the movie? I would assume, like going
Yeah.
to Jupiter.
Yeah, I guess so. All
I
right,
guess
so that
2001:
gives,
A Space Odyssey is a little bit more all-encompassing than just.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Alrighty, we spoke a lot about how little dialogue there is in the movie, but question number 3, how many minutes of the film are completely dialogueless?
The
A,
Man Lad did it.
Most.
66 minutes, B, 77 minutes, or C, 88 minutes?
Do monkey grunts count as dialogue?
They do not.
Okay, I'm gonna say 88 minutes.
Yeah, I'm also gonna say 88 minutes. There's a fat chunk of movie.
I mean, there's at least 40 minutes. The beginning, like 20, and the last 20 that have no dialogue. So there's like
Well,
half
if we
of that
want to do some
44
quick maths,
or 88.
there's 22 minutes at the beginning. I wrote down when the first
Okay,
line of dialogue was said.
and there's
And
got to
then-
be like what 15, 20 minutes at the end, something like that.
Yeah, I think it's at least 20 at
Well,
the
and
end.
the last
About 25
words
on the front and the back.
the last words uttered in the entire movie were the guy explaining that they're going to Jupiter to find extraterrestrial life.
Yeah.
That's the last word spoken in the movie. Everything else beyond that, no words.
And there's 30 minutes of runtime left there, but like 10
Yeah.
minutes of that is like credits.
To be
These
fair,
are
who's he
some
going
long
to talk
ass
to?
credits.
There's no one to talk to anymore at that point. So,
I'm gonna go with the middle answer because I need to try and tie.
Gotta play the game. Dylan comes away with the win. It is 88 minutes of the film
Yeah.
are completely dialogueless. There are movies that get released by major studios that are 88 minutes long.
yeah.
So that's runtime of a great comedy.
Oh, guys.
Runtime of a Judd Apatow movie.
I think
Something
I-
we hadn't talked
No,
about.
his run a little long. He's like almost 2 hours usually.
Oh, okay.
You gotta have a place for all that heart.
Jinx is back, boys.
Ben swept last week, and he got swept this week.
Nice.
Not
What
nice.
you like to see?
I'm bringing it back. Cam's just mad
Um,
because he hasn't swept in a long time.
No,
0
Cam
point
swept.
swipe.
No,
I
Cam
may have done it
swept,
last week.
2 weeks ago.
I like how we're calling sweep a bad thing in this context.
Depends
feel like
on
I
if
did
you're-
recently.
If you're doing the sweeping or getting sweeped.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
that's the
I
thing
think I
that depends.
did.
Get swept on, loser. You're like a dirty floor, and Zach's the broom.
All right.
Unless you sweep me, then I'm the floor and you're the broom.
Please be the broom.
Yeah.
I want to be the
Your,
floor.
your shitty questions are the dirty floor. And I'm the broom. I am the
something that
broom,
we,
the broom who sweeps the floor.
I'm the broom man. Something we haven't really talked about. I didn't know how well known this was. I knew this going into the movie. I had it as a trivia question. But do you guys know which rock band was originally supposed to do the soundtrack for the movie?
Led Zeppelin. It's where Dark Side of the
Zeppelin?
Moon came from.
So you're wrong and you're right. I should have given this as a trivia question because the options were Led Zeppelin, Pink Floyd, or the Eagles. And it's actually Pink Floyd, yeah.
Oh, is it Pink Floyd?
Well, Pink Floyd did Dark Side of the Moon.
Yeah, I
that
wasn't
is Dark Side of the
thinking,
Moon.
Leave me alone.
By the way.
Just had their whateverth anniversary, 50th, 60th, whatever it is.
Interesting. I did not know that.
Yeah, there's a Pink Floyd song. Can't remember the name of it, but they claim that if you line up that Pink Floyd song with the last line of dialogue in the movie and play it out, it completely syncs up through like Dave's psychedelic trip until he gets to the weight room.
Is it money? Is that?
It's not money.
Those of us who have seen 2001: A Space Odyssey, so Zach, you get to go last. You know, you're the only one who has a rating going in. So Zach will update his rating at the end. Cam will lead off because it's season 2, and we like to hear your little opinion. And then
My little opinion? Jesus.
Damn. What a backhanded
You're
introduction.
getting swept.
I'll give you a little opinion later. How about that?
2 inches of opinion at 200 miles per hour is still a lot of opinion.
He's going to soak you with his opinion.
Okay, all right.
Yes. Yes.
That, no.
Ladies
Okay.
and gents,
I was
if you want to
talking
hear about
Forrest.
soaking.
If you reference
I
it, he
listened to
has
last
to
week's
keep it in,
episode.
right?
Okay, anyway, without the little opinion stuff.
Get Cameron's big opinion. Don't ask for his little opinion.
Thank you.
want his-
Yeah,
you
ask
want
me
his
for my big.
opinion.
Go ahead and ask me for my huge
You
opinion.
just
All right, Cameron, what's your moderately sized opinion?
Oh my god.
He
Your
needs,
bigger than average
he
opinion.
needs, I need a monster microphone for my magnum opinion.
They call his opinion Magnus.
Oh my god.
Has a name.
Okay, anyway.
Cameron can't contain his big opinion. That's why he has a podcast.
Dude, it spills out.
This is a weird one to grade. Not gonna lie. Like I said before, this is one of those that I would pretty much consider this like a masterpiece movie that I would never watch again. It's just too long and kind of weird at the end, a little bit at the beginning, but just this, I mean, I think this movie is like quality wise, I don't know, especially for the time, like I don't know how much you can get better than this. The sets, the cinematography, the storytelling, how much he did with the story without actually using a lot of dialogue. It's just, to me, it's amazing. And all of this having been done before they, like, humans had ever even been to the moon in the first place. The beginning and end were kind of, like, there were definitely bits where it could have been tighter. Like, I feel like that's our complaint with a lot of stuff is this, they drag. But overall, I can see why, you know, directors like Spielberg and others have claimed this to be just insane. Like one person, maybe it was Ridley Scott, basically said this like killed sci-fi movies because it was so good, basically. So I can see why they all said that. So this is kind of weird, but I'm actually going to give it a 9 out of 10. I would not ever watch this movie again, but I think that if you consider yourself a fan of movies, you should watch it.
Like Cameron said, I think this movie was a masterpiece that needs to be watched once and once only. I am going to be a little bit more critical, though. I really loved the shots that I'm not gonna lie. I think up until about 3/4 of the way through the movie, I loved the fact that there was minimal dialogue. I thought the cinematography was beautiful. Some of those shots were just gorgeous. The practical effects were mind blowing for the time. I mean, considering that they didn't CGI a bunch of stuff, it was all practical. It just the last like 25-30 minutes of the movie for me, I feel like something else could have been done. I don't know. It did not help me at all. It kind of hurt this one. I gave it an 8. The acting's really well done. I like the fact that there's most of the actors are all relatively unknown, so there's no one like that you recognize that kind of takes you out of the movie. The 20 minutes of just trippy imagery kind of fumbled it at the 1 yard line for me, and that's gonna kind of take it down. But I recommend everyone check this movie out. If you haven't seen it, give it a watch. There's so much that has been influenced by it that you kind of get a better understanding for.
As somebody who went to school for film and everything, I feel bad that I hadn't watched this until now. Echoing, everyone else, like technically, majority of this movie just had me mind boggled how they did some of the effects and shots that they did. The cinematography is amazing. I'm a sucker for some hard sci-fi, and I personally really enjoyed the trippy bit at the end. I love the just imagination that went into it. The like imagery that came with it, I thought was beautiful. I like a movie that will make me sit and think about it. This movie has just been on my mind all day. Like I'm still being like, wow, that was fucking crazy. And this is honestly one of the best movies I've ever seen. I'm gonna give this a 10 out of 10, and I think everyone needs to watch it. And I'll probably watch it many times after this.
So I think people should see this movie twice. The first time to be confused and upset about the monkeys, and then I hate to say it, but do a deep dive or research into what Kubrick wanted, because it's exactly what Dylan loves about it. Kubrick set out to make a movie that makes you feel something. And he said in interviews that if you felt something, some type of way, then the movie succeeded in its job. To me, I'm super into space. I'm super into the idea of how do humans evolve, how do they hit a wall and get past it. So this movie touches on a lot of things that I like. I think the issue with 2001: A Space Odyssey is you've never seen a movie like it before. There's never been a movie made like it, and the most obvious reason is because it's not super entertaining to watch. It makes you think a lot. It makes you think about a lot of things, but I agree with everybody. It's 2.5 hours, and you don't want to sit there and watch it over and over and over again. If I have 2.5 hours, I'm gonna watch Avengers Endgame before I watch 2001: A Space Odyssey.
I'm gonna watch Hubie Halloween twice.
I might watch Hubie Halloween a time and a half. Yeah, get your run times right, but yeah. Yeah, there's never been a movie like this. I doubt there ever will again. And I think that this is one of those movies that suffers heavily from the older it gets, the less people are going to watch it, the less important it's going to seem. Because the movie came out in '68, almost the entire movie is like completely futuristic, out of this world. And today that's just not the case. You have to get to the back half of the movie until you start getting into somewhat futuristic things. Going to other planets isn't really crazy either. I gave the movie a 5 going in, just because I didn't enjoy it watching it the first time. I did not get it. After doing research on it and learning a bit more, I would give it an 8 out of 10. But there are things that have never been done, things that are super impressive in the making of this movie, but it's also just too long. Like, I get it. The trippy scene, I think, needs to be in there, but I think it could be 5, maybe 10 minutes shorter. The monkey scene, I think, could have been done tighter. And there's just things like that in each act that could have been cleaned up a bit.
Check out 2001: A Space Odyssey. It's available on HBO Max as of our recording. HBO Max, great resource to go through some of the movies we've done. This isn't an ad. Just love their selection of classic movies.
Not a sponsor.
Yeah.
But it could be if you sponsor us.
Fucking losers.
Sponsor us, HBO.
Share us with your friends and family. Check out Surfside Sips. Check out Audible. The show notes. Check those show
The
notes.
show notes?
You'll see the cocktail recipe. Don't watch the video. Don't look it up. Don't even look it up because it's that bad. Make a Space Odyssey.
We're stealing this man's cocktail recipe and not even giving him the credit of views on his YouTube video.
If you miss like 2001 to 2005 video quality, like this is a nostalgia trip for you.
Watch your 2001 cocktail video. Make a Space Odyssey, and then go watch 2001: A Space Odyssey. Share this with your friends and family. As always, watch responsibly.